In the gentle stillness of a late evening, when the world begins to quiet down and the lights soften in distant windows, let me tell you a story. A story not about fame or glory, but about quiet courage, persistence, and the belief that even the faintest spark inside a person can one day become a shining flame. Many years ago, long before the world knew his name, there lived a young man named Sylvester Stallone. He wasn't born into comfort or success. In fact, his early life was marked by challenges that might have discouraged even the strongest spirits. From birth, Stallone suffered from a medical complication that left part of his face paralyzed. His smile was uneven. His speech was slurred. Children teased him. Teachers doubted him. And when he grew up and decided to become an actor, Hollywood laughed. Again and again the young man stood in casting rooms where directors barely looked up from their notes. Some told him his voice was strange. Others said he would never be leading man material. And many simply asked him to leave. But late at night, in small apartments lit by cheap lamps, Stallone would sit by the window and whisper to himself, someday they will listen." Those were difficult days. There were moments when he could barely afford food, moments when rent seemed impossible, moments when loneliness felt heavier than any weight he could lift. But still, he kept writing. He kept dreaming. He kept holding on to a quiet hope. And then, one night, a night he would never forget, Stallone watched a boxing match on television. It was a dramatic fight full of grit, heart, and determination. Something inside him stirred like a spark, igniting in the dark. He felt an idea forming, a character, a story about an underdog, a man nobody believed in, a man who fought not to win but to prove he was worthy of being seen. For 3 days and nights, almost without sleep, Sylvester Stallone wrote the script for Rocky. But when he tried to sell it, studios offered money only if he did not star in it. They wanted big names. They wanted familiar faces. They wanted anyone except him. And Stallone, with pockets nearly empty, with bills piling up, with the weight of despair pressing on his shoulders, still said no, because he believed in the story, and he believed he was meant to tell it. Days passed, then weeks. Studios continued rejecting him. Friends told him to give up. The world seemed cold and unmoving, yet in the quiet of each night, when others slept, Stallone would picture Rocky running through empty streets, climbing steps, raising his fists to the sky. He held on to that vision like a lantern in the darkness. Finally, one studio agreed, reluctantly, to let him be the lead actor. The budget was small, the circumstances were difficult, but Stallone didn't care. He had been waiting his whole life for this moment. And then the film was released. People cried. People cheered. People said they saw themselves in Rocky, the doubt, the struggle, the quiet strength. At the Academy Awards, the film won 3 Oscars and became a symbol of perseverance around the world. And the young man who once walked from audition to audition with shaking hands and a trembling voice became the very definition of resilience. Today, when the world speaks of Sylvester Stallone, they speak of success, of strength, of a legendary career. But true strength, the strength worth remembering, was born long before the fame. It lived in the quiet moments, in the nights when he refused to surrender, in the soft flame of a dream he protected, even when no one else could see it. So tonight, as you close your eyes and drift into rest, remember his story. Dreams are not always loud. greatness is not always sudden. Sometimes the most beautiful victories begin as small, trembling hopes, held close, protected, and nurtured in the silence of the night. Sleep peacefully, and let the quiet determination of Sylvester Stallone remind you your story is still being written. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these stories reach more listeners and keeps new ones coming. Sweet dreams, and thank you for being here.